Yo, Adam.
Yes.
Did you hear?
No.
Joey Janela is pissed off right now.
What is Joey Janela pissed off about right now?
Well, he just found out that it's like a day too late to trademark Jim Cornette's name.
I'm sorry. Wait. Does that means that I could have copyright
Trademark.
Jimmy Cornette's name too? And now I'm pissed.
Trademark.
Trademark.
It's
Yeah.
a trademark.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. No. But I'm pissed about that too. I don't blame him.
Can you imagine the fun that he would have had if he had the trademark for Jim Cornette?
Oh, if anybody had that trademark. Anybody at all. Oh my God. Now I want Dave Meltzer to have it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's time for As the Buckle Turns. I'm Adam.
I'm Tim.
And we do not have a happy show for you. This is, hopefully we'll be able to sprinkle in some laughs for us, you, I don't know.
Adam, what do you mean we don't have a happy show? We get to complain.
Well,
it's a great show. No.
Kind of,
We get to
but
complain
it's
about
not
a
good
bad
news.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get to complain about something that's terrible news to a lot of people.
But first, let's go ahead and we got to say goodbye. We got to say goodbye to a great ring announcer. Howard Finkel passed away on the 16th. And 69 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't think he was that old, but I didn't think he was younger either. So it's just
It's one of those that I was like, oh, he was almost 70. Okay, I mean that makes sense, but I didn't think he was that old either.
But then you think when you actually look at photos and be like, but I didn't think he was much younger either. So yeah, it's just one of those guys. He's always been around. You're just like,
Huh. Okay.
oh, he was that old.
Yeah.
I mean, so it definitely sucks that this happened this week and all that. But
I mean, Tim, we live in a very, very Finkel world, and these are Finkel times.
Really, Adam? Really? Next thing you're gonna tell me he's in on the whole conspiracy of Owen Hart's work?
Well, when he comes back, they are going to need a ring announcer.
Wow. Okay, so
Owen
I know
Hart,
now why we don't.
Hashtag
I know
Owen
why
Hart
we don't
is a
have any
work.
fans.
Hashtag Owen Hart's a work.
I now know
I'll
why
call
we
it.
have no people who listen to this show.
I know we don't.
Okay, I do want to read something that Stephanie McMahon put out
Okay.
about Howard's passing. And she wrote, her tweet was, in what has already been a tough week for our WWE family, today we lost the first ever employee and WWE Hall of Famer, Howard Finkel. Howard's voice is iconic and recognized by generations of fans. He will be missed. Hashtag rest in peace, Howard Finkel. Thank you for everything.
Yeah.
So, that was a little nice there. Well, Adam, in this sad news that we're passing of a great ring announcer.
Yes.
And all that, there is a little bit of good news.
Oh, okay. What? We got good news though. Okay, I like good news.
Roman Reigns has announced that his wife.
Roman Reigns is our good news. God.
Yeah, hold on. Hey,
glasses coming off.
You're pinching your nose way too early, dude.
Okay.
Least
What
hear
is
the
this
noise.
good news from Roman Reigns? He's kicking out
First
at 2.
off, hold on. You're thinking if this was 2016, you'd be right.
Okay, all right.
But this is 2020. It's been 4 years.
Yes.
His twin sons, it's been a while. Now, Roman has 3 kids, his 9-year-old daughter and his twin sons who will be 4 or are 4. Don't know the date.
Wow. Okay.
Well, he also announced that his wife has another set of twins in the oven.
I'm sorry. What? Go
Yep.
get him, Roman.
Roman Reigns is going to be a dad again, and this came out in his Muscle and Fitness interview. I'm going to read the quote because it's absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
I guess the question was like, asking about his kids. He's like, yeah, 3 and 2 in the oven. So I'm going to be a Papa Bear of 5. Breaking news. We haven't shared that.
I can see him having this interview in a, over the phone or through Skype or a teleconference, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's just having a great time smiling because Joe is a really nice guy. And he's just like, I got 3 kids. Oh my God, these guys are great. And 2 in the oven. And as he says that, makes eye contact with his wife, who at that moment is giving him the look of, we haven't told anyone about that yet. And he's like, well, they just got an exclusive.
Yeah. So congratulations to Roman and his wife.
Oh, yeah.
On the expected kids. Wow, 2 sets of twins. Damn.
5 kids, okay? That's
kids.
a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids. I mean, there's a good age difference though between them. So which is actually kind of a good thing in some ways.
But still.
Oh, I know. Trust me. You're talking to a guy who doesn't want any kids.
I mean, he's putting like Heath Slater to shame. Now Roman Reigns can go around and be like, anytime Heath Slater says, I got kids to feed, Roman's just, really? Because I got 5.
He's like,
He's like, all right,
yeah,
you win on this one.
apparently, this is, I guess this interview took place sometime in March, so they've obviously been sitting on it for then.
Yeah.
And I think they brought up also about him not being on TV lately, the whole Goldberg thing. And he actually has an interesting response for Wrestling Inc. posted this part of the article. And he's like, you don't know whole story. You don't know if it's about health or what's going on else going on in my life. If I have newborns, older people in my family, all that. And it's actually a really good point of view. Is like, we know from the leak sources the reason why he didn't do it for his health.
Yeah.
But there could have been other reasons. And obviously his wife is pregnant with twins.
Yeah.
Is definitely going to affect that.
He does not want to bring that into the house.
He doesn't want to bring that in the house. He doesn't want to, not just want to bring that in the house, but doesn't want to risk the chance that he gets it and then something happens to him.
Right.
And now his wife is going to have new kids and just on her own.
Right. Wow, that was drastic. Wow.
But
Tim's
it's
calling
still-
for Roman
actually-
Reigns to die. That's the headline tomorrow. I can see it now. God.
Well, there were times it felt like the fans were like, die, Roman, die.
I mean, yes, but that's a character. You're calling for a human now. I can't
I
believe
did not say I was calling for it. I was pointing out his motivation.
No. I can't believe you would say that. You are a monster.
Well, that is true.
Unleash the beast.
Oh, so we're doing that again this time.
No,
Okay.
this time I have specific times that I'm supposed to say it. It's about every 10 minutes in the show.
So not every time when someone says monster,
No, not every single time now.
you got sick and tired of me saying monster.
Oh, dude, there was a lot of beast being unleashed afterwards. I don't think I was supposed to drink that many of them in an hour and a half.
Yeah, because
I have never had a heart palpitation like that since the last time I was on Adderall. And I've never had a prescription.
Caught onto it. And the fact that you finally caught onto it at the end of the episode, it's like, stop it, man.
Stop it. It's starting to hurt. I wasn't able to sleep for 2 straight days. I got a lot of work done.
All right. So with that being said, we're gonna move on to the bulk, what everyone's talking about
Yes.
this week. It was only a matter of time that this was probably gonna happen, but how it happens
Yeah.
is, woo. Okay, so let's just get it over with. They released a bunch of people this week.
Yes.
Not just wrestlers, but staffing that most are furloughed. So they will hope. The goal is to bring those people back
Exactly.
at some point, except for Kurt Angle, who was actually released. So, how many wrestlers is it, Adam?
Oh God. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About almost 20.
So far, about 20 wrestlers have been released.
This is what happened. This is what went down on the 15th.
Yes, this is only so anything that's happened on. We're recording at 2:30 in the afternoon on Thursday, on the 16th. So anything that comes out of today or Friday, we won't be covering because we
don't know.
It happened after.
Exactly.
So, but this is only so far. But there is good reporting that there are more releases to come, and there's a report that there could be over 100 people total
That's
on
ridiculous.
this effect. Not just talent. We're talking about everyone in WWE.
Oh, okay. That's actually, for a corporation of their size, that's actually not a bad thing, seeing as it's weird that I'm defending this right now, but in the economic downturn that we're currently in, it actually, it's a smaller margin than you could see.
Yeah, so actually, since we were talking about defense, Tommy Dreamer has come out defending Vince McMahon
Oh, okay.
about this. Now, I read the article that Wrestling Inc. put up. I absolutely going to say he does make some strong points when it comes to a business, like kind of like what you just said, like and all that.
Yeah.
But he overlooks the whole thing because we haven't covered this, so I'm going to cover it right now. Is that WWE has said that they're well off compared to releasing anyone. They have like lots of about $500 million in cash at hand.
Exactly.
So when when Vince McMahon said a video out to everyone that the people who are going to be furloughed and talent releases coming immediately, and so basically saying, hey, don't worry, we have cash on hand, but we're also going to do this. So you have money, but you're still going to get rid of people because...
Yeah, I don't really understand that. But, I mean, at the same time, it does, from a corporate standpoint, when you see a downturn in your... in an economic situation for you, you do have to do cuts. So it makes sense. At least WWE hasn't completely cut, divisions and been like,
Yeah.
so this animation division is now gone. And you're like, oh, that was 50 people that were working there.
Well, they kind of did, because not on the reports that are here. At Wrestle Talk last night when they were covering the live releases,
Yeah.
there was someone in the chat who mentioned they were part of the social media team from WWE. They were cut along with 8 other people that they know of. And then Ali, in their video today, mentioned it was about 20 people from the social media department who got cut.
Okay.
So, but the whole point is, like, he's talking about, it comes down to money and businesses, so no one is guaranteed a job forever, well, except for like Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H.
Yeah, I kind of feel that there are, looking over some of the backstage contracts that are being furloughed. There's probably some easier ones that they could have done. Like, I don't know. But like, hey, Undertaker, we have to cut your contract right now. You got 90 days of pay. And then we'll try to, once things start to work out, we'll try to get you back into a new contract. Sean, we're going to do the same thing for you. You're furloughed until further notice. And, some of these bigger, long-term, older contracts that you could just be like, look, we got to cut these older contracts. Sorry.
See, the funny thing with Shawn Michaels, he doesn't actually have a contract with WWE.
Well,
in a sense.
yes, he is the intern that has been working with Vince McMahon for quite some time. I'm just waiting for the day to be able to super kick him into next week.
After Vince gets fired.
Yes, that's actually the super kick out the conference window. Next week happens before that. They actually give him an extra week of pay just because of the super kick.
I mean, he does work for WWE because he does work in the Performance Center for NXT. And actually, from an article I read a few weeks ago, he's actually kind of overseeing NXT UK, really.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you could say he has a contract, but it's more of an actual employee position that you have. I do believe they do have contracted people for coaches or something like that in some way, maybe. But it's mostly you're an employee.
Okay.
If you're doing that stuff. So, but like Undertaker, yes. One of the biggest things on Twitter last night was, really, you need to save money? Goldberg, Brock Lesnar.
Yep. John Cena.
Right there. John Cena. Taker. Didn't have to. But those two alone, you could have just not done for the Saudi show, and right there you saved money.
Yep. Well, especially Lesnar. Lesnar's contract is a ridiculous contract. I'd just be like, look, I know that we signed you to this ridiculous contract, but we have to release you from it. And your next 90 days, you're going to get, $1 million, and you can walk away, and then we'll renegotiate and bring you back. But right now, we can't afford you to even sit at home.
Maybe the funny thing is, immediately he goes over to AEW like, want to bring me in? Out of spite because they released me, I'll give you a deal.
I'll give you a deal. $5. They're like, $5 per match. And he's like, no, a $5 contract. In fact, actually, if you guys could go to Subway and buy me a $5 footlong, that would be the best thing.
But yeah, just releasing him from his contract saves you money.
Yeah.
Goldberg, not using him at all, could have saved money.
Some of these bigger financial burden contracts could have been cut first.
Yeah. And here's the thing, and the reason why I bring this up is you could have gone with those versus the talent you released here is because the announcement, they said they're going to be saving about $4 million on talent that was released.
Wow.
Dave Meltzer corrected that.
Oh, okay.
It's not $4 million on talent. It's $4 million on total cuts. So, Adam, take a guess about how much money they're going to save monthly on talent, the cuts they made from the talent.
I'm looking over this, 20 names of talent, of, on-screen talent that were released. Looking over that 20 names, I'm saying probably somewhere around I don't know, 700,000-800,000 a month.
Yep, they're only going to be saving money around $700,000 a month from those talent.
Okay, so the other 3.3 million is
from everything else.
Okay.
So you literally release Brock Lesnar from his contract, done.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not against making releases from people you're not using, people who are not living up to their potential.
Oh, yeah.
All that stuff.
People who want to be released.
People who want to be released. Absolutely. I'm not against that because it's part of the business. when you have Tommy Dreamer who's coming up and is pointing out some valid points. I do recommend you find this article at Wrestling Inc. Read it. But the whole point why people are having a big problem with this and are pointing it right at Vince McMahon is because he's hoarded talent so they could go nowhere else.
Yep.
And in a time where they can't go anywhere else to make a living, he just says, fuck you, I don't need you anymore. You're not worth the money I'm paying you now. Go away. And that is what's the problem. And a lot of people were pointing out, well, so these people wanted to leave. And Wrestle Talk pointed out, like, yes, they wanted to leave, but now when they could go somewhere else, now they can't. And they have to make money. And they have families to feed. All that. That's the problem here. And it's heartless. And when you realize that they're only saving $700,000 a month on the talent they've released so far,
right,
on the 15th, it is just like, what the fuck? You could have made cuts elsewhere, like, or you make one big cut with Brock Lesnar, because you know you can go and sign him again.
Exactly.
Later on.
Exactly. I mean, Brock Lesnar's. There's a couple of guys that financially could take the hit for the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. And we've said the names. It's like Undertaker could take the hit for the rest of the year. You just don't book him for anything, and you cut him from his contract for 2020. John Cena, who has actually said that quite possibly that Firefly Funhouse match was his last match.
Yeah.
You can cut him from that then.
Yeah. Another person you could cut, who you just signed for $7 million a year,
Oof.
Edge.
Yes.
I mean, I love Edge. I think he's a great wrestler. I'm glad he was able to come back.
Yes.
But you could have released him. He's only contracted to wrestle 3 matches a year. He wants to do 5.
Okay.
Because of injuries, which is completely understandable that he came back and he's willing to put his body back on the line to entertain people and end his career how he wants to. But you could literally cancel that contract, save money, and then renegotiate it with him at a later time to do this.
Yeah.
And you'd save money.
I understand.
I just watched his 24/7 documentary. Yeah. It's actually a really good documentary. Like, if you haven't seen it, find it and watch it. But at the same time, Edge is not a dumb guy. He didn't blow his money. Right. He has money. Beth Phoenix still works for NXT. She's making money. He's still taking acting gigs and reading stuff.
Exactly.
He has sources of revenue, or other people who haven't had those opportunities are now without a job.
Right.
That's the issue that everyone has with this, and that's why everyone is like pissed off at WWE.
It's piss poor timing, and just I really feel that at this time they should have for their wrestlers who just are in a position that if they get released, they don't have someplace they can just go to in a couple of weeks and start working again. Like, their job is closed right now, basically. Yeah.
And now, I mean, a lot of people in the Wrestle Talk chat room were bringing up how, like, well, if WWE's cutting talent, AEW is going to be, because a lot of people were saying that these people are going to go to AEW. It's like, yeah. And Ali and Luke brought up, was like, no, not necessarily, they won't. Because if you look at what other companies are doing, that no one else is doing this. New Japan has said, grouped together with a bunch of other Japanese promotions to propose a plan for support for wrestlers.
Right.
And Tanahashi, the ace of New Japan, said pro wrestling should be the last thing to come back.
I consider it the same way as sports, as concerts. What the first things that are going to come back outside of essential will be manufacturing.
Yeah.
television should be back on schedule. Film should be back on schedule. Then sports.
Yes.
Like I do laugh because this actually got brought up. I saw this thing. Every time Toronto has won a championship of whatever sport it is, the next season that sport is kind of canceled. And they just won the NBA championship, which probably means that we're not getting an NBA. I mean, we're not getting the rest of this NBA season. So this year, no NBA. They win it last year. They win it for last year, and immediately the next year, there's no NBA season.
It's all Detroit's fault, apparently.
Damn it, Detroit.
But it's not just what New Japan, all those are doing, but it's what other companies who have nowhere near the funds that WWE has are doing. What's her name? Winter. I can't remember her real name at the moment. Who worked for when she was in TNA.
Okay.
Katie something. I can't remember what it is.
I might remember. I don't know.
She was kind of excited. Was disappointed that her working with Ring of Honor got canceled because of what's going on, and she was really looking forward to working with them.
Okay.
When she got a paycheck in the mail from Ring of Honor for those dates that are not happening.
Oh, wow.
Ring of Honor is paying their talent for these canceled dates. Not just their talent.
Wow.
Paying people who are not contracted. She does not have a contract with Ring of Honor. And she still got paid for that date.
That's awesome.
So the fact that WWE just released a whole bunch of people and all the other wrestling organizations are not and are doing the best they can to keep their talent safe.
Yes.
And trying to help them out where they can. And it's a great thing. And you look at go back to earlier this week, last week when WWE was made an essential service.
Yes.
Here
Oh
in
my
Florida.
God. So that way they could continue filming and doing their shows in Florida.
Yep. Now, it wasn't just WWE that this was classified for. It was pro wrestling in sports. So other wrestling organizations in Florida can operate if they want to.
That's right.
The arena shows. And guess what the response is? Nope. Not doing it. MLW. Nope. We're not doing it. We're not putting our talent and our crew and our staff at risk. No.
Exactly.
And WWE's like, yep, we will. And the reason behind it is because apparently Vince got worried or got wind of from the networks that if WWE goes over their 3 limit of tapings for the year in their contract, it will give them the right to renegotiate, restructure their deals, which will allow them to save money. Ooh. And this is what setting Vince basically said he changed his mind because he was eventually going to do this whole bulk taping again this week.
Honestly, because this is basically an emergency situation, if I was a network, I'd be like, as long as we're still getting stuff, that's okay. I'd be I'd be like, no, bulk it. Just keep bulking it, guys.
Well, yes, absolutely. But you gotta take in, because I saw in Ali Davis's report this morning, summarized everything that was going on with the releases and all this. One of the dirt sheets, well known, said it's not speculation that Vince had that they could do this. Basically saying, no, the networks were going to do this if they felt they breached the contract.
It's an odd situation.
Which, I mean, you may say that's a bad thing for the company. I mean, for those networks to do that. But can you blame those networks for paying all this money for TV and not keeping up the ratings to even work close to what they wanted?
For me, I think it's more that they're able to use this as an excuse to renegotiate a contract that they feel that WWE hasn't been living up to since almost day one.
Well, for Fox, they weren't living up to the contract before they even came over.
Yeah. See that so they're able to now go, okay, well, you've reached the limit on your pre-tapings that we had negotiated. This is the contract, because I'm willing to bet WWE has been like, we're still within the margin of error for ratings. So you can't renegotiate in that. We're still within our gray area. And so some attorney at the network is like, fine, you want to play contract games? We'll play contract games. You are in a state where you can't do weekly filmings. No other state is going to let you do weekly filmings. So you have to bulk film and go into isolation for 2 weeks. For X number of weeks. So, yeah, you've hit your limit. Guess what? We're going to renegotiate. I can see that. I mean, it's totally a who's got bigger balls type of moment.
Yeah. But then you have what's going on with AEW, where the network's like, nope, we're fine.
Yeah, we're cool.
We're cool. They're completely fine with it. And one of the reasons I think it is because they have such a good working relationship with their network.
Yes.
I'd actually just read an article where Cody talked about the whole TNA championship and how it kind of came about from TNT.
Yeah.
Basically seeing what they see, like they have their own internal things that they're seeing from the audience and with their issues. And they bring them to them and saying, here, this is what we're seeing from our data. And like they were already kind of thinking about it too. So they kind of like, oh, okay, we're seeing this. You want to do that. I think we should do it. We were already kind of thinking that. Okay, let's do it. They have such a great working relationship that they're like, no, do what you need to do. We understand that.
This is an extreme situation.
Yeah. And I would be surprised if WWE did not have some kind of act of God contract in those TV tapings.
I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, because Vince McMahon has literally had a match against God, I'm willing to bet he purposely did not put that in there.
Because he's God. Because he beat God.
Exactly. Because he already beat God. He's like, I don't have to worry about an act of God. I'm not doing anything to my company. Flexes.
Exactly. But that's the whole, like, it's just, you get to that point, and then now because of that, he's freaked out, we get this.
Yeah.
And then, before we get back to the whole releases things, I do want to go back to how WWE got the, this.
Oh, it's crazy.
Because here's the funny thing. When they got announced, like they were going to still ignore the order and everything, I'm going to be like, yeah, that doesn't sound right. Something tells me there's going to be an overruling. Like they're going to get the okay from the governor. It just felt weird. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm like, they knew something. Like they were able to get away with it. Whether it wasn't official and the governor said it kind of went through back channels and said yes or whatever, but I had this feeling. And then what happens? The governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, who's very close with Trump is very close to the McMahons. So we got there.
Yep.
Then you also got Linda McMahon, who runs a super PAC for Trump, who basically...
No, it was the super PAC for Linda McMahon.
Yeah, no, it's the super PAC it's a Trump super PAC.
Oh, okay.
She runs it for him. Like, she runs it for his re-election. And announcing that they're going to spend a lot of $28 million or something in battleground states for his re-election. $17 million last Thursday was announced to be put spent in Florida.
Yep.
The same day, Ron DeSantis declares WWE an essential personnel. The next day, Vince McMahon decides to go from bulk taping to live shows.
Yep. Oh, hold on. It gets better. Because
really?
last night, Trump announced that, or it was revealed that Vince McMahon is also now part of the group that is reopening America.
No. You got that wrong. You got that completely wrong. The great Vince McMahon is part of that. Yeah.
We live in a bizarro world. The timeline split when it was in 2016 with Harambe. I swear to God, that one moment, that's where the timeline split, and we went down the darkest timeline. I mean, we've gotten AEW out of it, so I'm kind of happy, because the other timeline there is no AEW.
Oh, really?
No, sadly, that timeline, instead, it's the Elite break away from Bullet Club, and they end up taking over all of Ring of Honor. And then there's a mega show of Ring of Honor versus New Japan, and it's really Bullet Club versus the Elite. But that's not that bad. That's not. I mean, we still get all Elite out of this.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other
whole thing
timeline,
is-
Owen Hart comes back instead of Edge.
God. And this is why we have no fans.
I'm waiting
You
for the day
realize
that
that.
someone tells me off in the comments section regarding my constant Owen Hart jokes.
Oh, I can arrange that.
You don't count.
But yeah, it's just everything that is going on. It's just, and the fact that this is really going on. Like, what is it? I can't remember the quote that Ali said on Wrestle Talk's video this morning. Is like, usually adversity reveals character
Yes.
or something like that. But it's basically adversity revealed true motives
Yes.
in the company. That all Vince cares about is the money. He gives
As long as
no
that company...
yeah.
That was actually one of the biggest problems with having WWE become a publicly traded company, because at that point they become enslaved
Beholden
to
to their
shareholders, because from
the
their
shareholders.
like, as long as they're turning a profit, it's good. The moment that they don't turn a profit, things are bad.
And that's the thing, like, even though Vince owns well over majority of the company, it's still, the stock goes down and it hurts the company.
Right.
And it's just one of those things where it's just like,
Also, having a publicly traded company whose stock has plummeted also increases their risk rating within lending.
No.
So,
oh yeah, there's so many things. Like,
Yeah.
It hurts so much stuff there. But it just goes to show you that Vince doesn't give a shit. Now, if you go and find the Vince McMahon DVD that they did years ago, when they actually just did one of those documentaries on superstars, they did one on Vince McMahon.
okay.
And it's excellently done. And one of the things he said in there when they went public was it was kind of a thank you to the fans after the whole Attitude Era and like almost going out of business and rallying. It's like to let people own a piece of this was kind of a no-brainer to him. And I actually do. When you watch that interview, there's no doubt in my mind when he went public, there was a business reason behind it, but it was also a genuine one to think fans who wanted a piece of it could actually have a piece of it.
Right.
I think that's not the case anymore. He doesn't give a fuck. We know he doesn't give a fuck about the fans, because if he did, he'd be listening to us.
Exactly.
He has been completely and utterly corrupted and we already know he was always been about the money
Oh, yeah.
long before this.
But at the time, it made more sense because of the risk that, as a business owner at that time, he was risking his own money constantly.
Yeah.
But
and
once he went public, the company became its own beast, and he's not risking his money because he can walk away. That company can fold, and the position that he's in, he can walk away and still have a shit ton of money.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where it's just like.
Anyway, we got to move on. We got to get to the releases, the names that we have, and where we think they're going to end up. So a little bit of fantasy booking, having a good time at the end of the show, though.
Yeah. So I do want to just pull out a few notes that, well, we don't know for a fact, like, if announcers, coaches, refs, and creatives are furloughed. We do know producers are.
Right.
That's outside of Kurt Angle. He was released. So we don't know if those people will get their job back later on.
Who knows?
We don't know if they were been furloughed or actually released. But we do know producers have been furloughed.
Okay.
And that are on this list. And other people in different departments in WWE, those people have been furloughed as well. So the goal of bringing them back in the future. So we're not gonna go over. We'll hit a few of the producers that we mentioned there.
Yeah.
But the one person I do want to bring up first is Andrea Listenberg. She's the only creative who was released so far that we know of.
Okay.
And the reason why I bring her up is she's the one who wrote the Mandy Rose and Otis storyline, love storyline.
Oh. Okay.
One of the hottest storylines. Let me rephrase that. The only hot storyline in WWE that not talking about NXT.
Yeah.
They had, and they decided to get rid of that writer.
Of course.
Good job. Yeah.
If something gets over and it's not Vince McMahon's reason, then it's shit. And it's not good shit.
Well, the fact that we got actually a conclusion to that story arc.
True.
And that story means Vince liked it.
Well, it had a blonde in it, so of course Vince liked it.
And of course, Vince probably also liked the fact that you had this big beast of a man like Otis who would be like,
I'm a big fat dude.
It's just like, and his feature faces. He just probably loved it.
Yeah.
Again, like one of the things that apparently the reason why Asuka's been getting a lot of screen time and winning a lot is because Vince loves her screaming in Japanese and really realizing what he has there.
Okay. So pretty
Don't get me
much,
wrong.
if you can make Vince McMahon laugh or go, hey, I like that, you're golden.
Yep.
Okay.
So
It doesn't matter if the audience likes it. As long as Vince likes it, it will go on.
I'll say this. Honestly, I like what Asuka's doing. I think it's hilarious.
Oh, same here.
It's working. It's just kind of sad that it took this, of all things, to get Vince's notice.
Exactly.
But all right, so we're gonna go down the list of all the confirmed as of April 15th for the wrestlers, and we'll do the producers as well, and then we'll.
All right, let's just go through the producers now as to the release
that's what I'm
/
saying.
furlough
Go
for
through
them
first.
Okay.
So the first one I have on there obviously is Kurt Angle.
Yes.
Who was released. I think probably because he's probably still under his contract to wrestle.
Probably.
Like when he came back on air, so they probably just decided to release him and just overall there. I could see them bringing him back once directly as a producer when this is ready to go.
He probably
instead of a contract, but
his contract is probably a contractor contract. Where he's not an actual WWE employee.
No. He just transitioned into producing, and then when his contract is over, he would...
Right.
And it's probably because if they want to use him on air, they had that contract versus an actual WWE employee. We also have Billy Kidman, Mike Rotundo, Pat Buck, Fit Finlay, Sean Daivari, Scott Armstrong, Sarah Stock, Shane Helms, and Lance Storm. A few of those names are people who just signed and came on as producers for WWE in the last few months.
Yeah.
Lance Storm closed his wrestling school in Canada only a few months ago to come and work for WWE.
Yeah, I know.
So, but everyone from Billy Kidman down to Lance Storm are all furloughed,
Okay.
that we know of.
So, luckily, Bray Wyatt will not be releasing The Fiend on Vince McMahon, since Vince is not actually firing his father.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Though, during for Parts Unknown, Plumpy did have one of his future Firefly Funhouse matches he wants is The Fiend versus Vince McMahon.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. I would love to see that.
So, all right, Adam, how about you handle the talent?
All right. Well, I'm gonna go in my own order here because it's gonna be funnier that way.
Okay.
So we've got the first one, that my first name for people that have been released that were wrestlers in ring talent is the referee Mike Chioda, who surprisingly has been around since 1989.
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
Like, I was actually really surprised at how long. I was like, wait, what? 89? All right. Damn.
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
I would like to see him actually head to AEW and strengthen up that the core of the referees that they have. Like,
Yeah.
they have Rick Knox and oh God, why am I forgetting her name right now?
Audrey Edwards?
Yes, thank you. Wow. I almost called her Abby. I was like, that's not it. It's something. Audrey Edwards and Mike Chioda coming in and really helping them strengthen up the rules and the cadence that they should be having.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to see him come over there. That way to help
would
out
too.
with that.
You know who I want? I mean, even though he's furloughed, who I'd love to see out of the producers,
Yeah.
Fit Finlay.
Yeah. Maybe even Lance Storm.
Well, I would be fine with Lance Storm, but I'm specifically picking Fit Finlay for a specific reason.
Okay, why is that?
He's been the heart and soul of the Divas division and the women's wrestling for the decades
Okay. Oh,
on the main roster.
he could really
Like,
help strengthen that up then.
The reason why they started wrestling, even though it was terrible, was because he's like, look, he was through the brawl and panty matches, all that stuff, and he's like, look, I don't want to be the guy who has to tell you how to tear this stuff off. Like, I'm sorry, but this is what we have to do. But he's like, then he started working with these people, with the women, even though they were good, and having them learn to wrestle, even though they hadn't, and the effort they would put in, even though they weren't showing, it didn't show like they could really wrestle.
Yeah.
They were putting the effort in, and he was that heart and soul. He would be a perfect person to come over to AEW and really help, not just produce, but help get that women's division on track.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't need an overhaul. It just kind of needs to be like a lot of AEW just needs to be like strengthened up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it's
And
got a
that's-
good base, but right now the flagpole for AEW is sitting in some wet cement. You just need some bracers right now, and once that base is fully formed, that flag is going to hang high 50 feet in the air.
The two key things that really need working right now, even though one of them has gotten improved greatly over the since TV, refereeing has gotten better. It still needs to be. They need to get those specifically in tag matches. You need to tag in and out.
Right.
And the Lucha Brothers need to be reeled in, and they need to be told, I don't care if this is how you do your matches. You will tag in and out. That's how it works.
Right.
And the rest need to hold them to it and not be afraid of any backlash in the back, which I don't think they would be overall.
No.
But then having like Fan Finley come in and then say, I'm going to take your women's division and I'm going to really help put those matches together.
Yeah.
We're help really develop story ideas and really take this and bring it to the next level.
Yeah.
It'd be an awesome one.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so for the talent, you're
Yeah.
up.
Next up, I have the Colognes, Primo and Epico Cologne, both of them released. Honestly, I was very surprised that they were still alive. I thought that they had been forgotten in the basement of Titan Tower, and because of social isolation and distancing, Owen Hart hadn't been there to feed them this entire time. But I would like to see them actually end up in AAA. I really feel that they could really step up and show who they could be in AAA.
Oh no! Don't go. We're not going to go where they're going yet. Just go through the list of the talent.
Oh, all right, fine. We don't have that much time left to be able to do that.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
We're fine. We're not even at the hour marker yet.
We are at the hour marker.
We have 10 minutes for the hour marker.
No.
We have time.
No, there's no point of going over the list and then going over the list.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Then we've got Eric Rowan, Eric Young, Leo Rush, EC3, Aiden English, Mike and Maria Kanellis, Sarah Logan.
Kanellis Eye?
What?
The Kanellis Eye?
Yeah. Sarah Logan, No Way Jose, Rusev, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Zack Rydens, Kurt Hawkins, and Drake Maverick. If you guys want to cry, go watch Drake Maverick's video of his reaction to being released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet because I'm just already been in a bad mood. I don't need to be feeling even worse. At some point I will watch it, but it's just like, yeah, I've heard, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't go there yet.
Nope. All right. So,
but you do have some. You didn't get MJ Jenkins, Dina Perezzo, and Alizar Jaksic?
Yeah, I left the NXT people off because I actually hadn't even heard of them.
Dina Perezzo was just on Raw last week when she got crushed by a returning Nia Jax.
So storyline-wise, Nia Jax killed her, and she'll never be back again.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
It was actually kind of heartbreaking because she actually got it out on Twitter before anyone actually got on a list.
Oh.
And people found it that way. And my guessing is from Dino Perezzo, she got released because they don't have solid plans for her in NXT just yet.
Most likely.
Obviously, they were going to, I think Triple H was going to have her have matches, win some, lose some here and there, but they didn't have solid storyline plans for her. They were going to build up to using her in the next 6-7 months, maybe a year of doing that. But more or less, I'm going to probably say, they said, we don't have plans for her here, and if we keep her around, they're going to keep using her on Raw and SmackDown as a jobber, and
yeah.
When we want to do anything, it's just going to hurt her in NXT, and it's not worth it. We'll release her when this all gets straightened out. She could go somewhere else.
Yep.
Maybe we can bring her back on at some point. That's what I'm taking a guess on because she actually has been used on NXT. She has been used as an enhancement talent a few times already on the main roster, but so it's sad to see her go because she was really excited for the WWE when she got signed.
Yeah.
And there could be more NXT talent being cut. Just by the time she got hers got out, it was already closer to 6 o'clock, and they had a TV show to go to film live. So I'm assuming that they're going to, if there's more NXT talent getting released, that's going to happen today.
Probably.
If that's the case. But
All right.
um,
So yes, yeah, I left the NXT people up because I really did not see them getting picked up by anybody as a major announcement.
Dino Perez was the only one because she actually had like it was a kind of a big deal when she signed for the Mae Young Classic when she came in, then signed for NXT. She was being used. I believe she was actually part of Ring of Honor
Oh, okay.
division. So she was actually somewhat, but she's been used and people have seen her on TV. So that was at least one I wanted to make sure we got out there too.
All right.
But so yeah, let's go through and actually where we see these people going.
So yes, I'm going to start
You
it
said
off.
Primo and Epico. You'd like to see him AAA.
AAA.
They actually do. They do work for their family promotion in Puerto Rico. So
Yeah, but
they were still part of the WWE because they would be used like on house shows if they needed them or something like that. But they haven't really done much with WWE for a while. So the fact that people like they haven't even gotten released well before this was actually surprising.
honestly, what was it? A while ago when they had like a number of the Hispanic wrestlers in the back all come together, and like you saw them in there, and you're like, hey, they're still with the company?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Like, but yeah, I'd like to see them actually show up with AAA and kind of, maybe show that they are better, or they're really in a great place where they are in Puerto Rico, and that's that. Maybe they're
It's very
training,
well possible.
helping train the next generation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
You know the people who I find who seem to be some of the best trainers are the people who never made it big.
Exactly. Or they
Because-
kind of made it big, but it
Yeah.
was like Finley.
Because they just it was just somehow they were the people they worked for didn't see anything in them, or they knew how, but they weren't used to their true ability, and then you get them in and show them like, oh wow, you actually were a lot better, but we never just saw that, and that was usually the issue.
Yeah.
So I agree with AAA. I wouldn't mind seeing them go to like Ring of Honor.
Okay.
Because they're a big tag team company. I like to show what you can really do.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking AEW because AEW right now has such a. I mean, they're not super tag team heavy, but with the tag teams that they have right now will overshadow everyone.
And anyway, they already have some Puerto Ricans.
Exactly.
as a tag team. They
That
don't
was
need more.
another like. I actually stopped and I was like, I mean, they already have a Puerto Rican tag team, so are we just gonna have the Battle of Puerto Ricans going on?
Which is so bad to say that. it's like
Exactly,
oh my
but
God.
like when you look at a smaller company starting out,
yeah,
having a lot of tag teams. I mean, honestly, having a lot of tag teams that all kind of look alike, and I'm sorry to say that, gets confusing to a casual viewer.
yes,
Because you'll be like, is that LAX or Proud and Powerful and Proud? Yeah.
it's so
Or is that the Lucha Bros? Or is that so? I'm like, yeah.
See, the difference between these, like, you can have multiple people from different, same cultures.
Oh, God, yeah.
They have to be so different.
I mean, yes. Because in the world of pro wrestling, every character has to be different from another character. Otherwise, you immediately just get compared, and one of the two will, in the fans' eyes, overshadow the other one. Like,
Why do you think we make a big deal about a blonde winning for the women? Because when you look at them, they look differently, they work differently, but the thing is,
it's a
they all
blonde white
sound
woman.
the same to a point outside of Charlotte.
Yeah.
and Alexa Bliss. Honestly, those are the only two blondes that don't really sound the same.
There was a period in time where I didn't know the difference between Mandy Rose and
Liv Morgan.
yes, their like when they came back, like very quickly looking at photos of them, just being like, wait, was that Mandy or Liv? Or because I absolutely love Liv Morgan, and I liked her more as her crazy, geeky girl that she is, that she really is. And if you will, now at the same time, I understand that you already had your Harley Quinn with Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan wasn't another Harley Quinn. She was a gamer chick.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that creative can't understand that you can have... never mind. You know what? Never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Really quickly,
Yeah.
what were the big names on here that were kind of a surprise for you? Before,
Really? Gallows and Anderson? Rusev?
Yeah, Gallows and Anderson and Rowan were the two big ones that were a surprise. Everyone else, I'm just like, oh, not surprised, not really.
Most of them were people that just were not being used right now.
Yeah. Well, Drake Maverick was a kind of a surprise when I kind of saw it.
Yes.
Mostly because he was just announced for the Cruiserweight interim tournament
Yep.
and all that. So that was a little bit of a surprise. But everyone else... Oh, and Sarah Logan. That was another surprise.
Yes.
But at the same time, when I said, I'm like, wow, they got rid of her. Not how I've seen her. She's been used. Not surprised. So it's one of those, whoa, they got her. Oh, wait, they haven't really... she's been jobbing out. Yeah, that's not a surprise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of those names we just said, where would you put them?
Okay.
Where do you see them going?
Eric Rowan, TNA.
Yes.
But there's a reason that I'm putting him in TNA. I'm putting him directly with Eric Young, who is also going back to TNA.
Yes.
So it's going to be, Eric Young comes out and whatever. Rowan comes out with him. Not necessarily the quiet, whatever Eric Rowan has been for super long, but really the two of them they're the beards.
You know who I want to throw in there with that?
Who?
With them? EC3.
He's actually another one that I put down as going back to TNA.
Yeah. And the reason why I say put them together, those three together, is you got two guys who left the company and they're bringing their beast.
I mean, yeah.
Two former Impact World Champions coming back with a beast. And you could have a whole interesting storyline how these guys were TNA originals. And they left the company and now they're coming back and they expect to be their spots back. And when they don't get that, you bring in Eric Rowan as their muscle. But he's not just their muscle. He's just as integral and interesting of a character as these guys are.
Yeah.
And they just kind of like a different dynamic of the Shield story element.
Okay.
You could go with these.
I honestly have someone that could fit better than EC3 character.
Okay, who's that?
Zack Ryder.
No, I don't think... I think EC3 would be a little bit better just because he actually is from Impact in TNA.
That's true. That's true.
That's why I'm putting them there. Since we're talking about TNA,
yep,
I would love to see Sarah Logan go to TNA because I think that would be a great spot for her as the women's division.
I actually had her down going there as well because of their women's division. Yes.
I think that'd be a great place where she can actually show what she can do and how she was underutilized in WWE. I'd actually also like to see Mike Kanellis go back to Impact.
So I put Mike and Maria as a duo, like where one goes, the other one goes. And yes, I also put them going back to TNA. There were actually a lot of people that I was just like, you know what? TNA would actually be a better fit for them.
Well, the reason why I said because they were better. All these names, as outside of Eric Rowan and Sarah Logan, they were used better in that company.
Yeah.
It's a great place to rebuild their brand. And in case of like Eric Young, if he wants to try to make it one more big run on like as a top name in a big company like AEW eventually, build your name here.
Yep.
Go to Impact or go over to New Japan after this and really show what you can do before you retire. Because he's getting up there and his time is going to be, his career's coming winding down.
Exactly.
So if he still wants to wrestle, use Impact to build up. See if you can work out a deal where you can still work elsewhere, so you don't have to leave them to go elsewhere. If he wants to like work in New Japan, and then if his contract's up and he wants to give an AEW's interested, that was where he could kind of retire, or he just stays with Impact and that's where he retires.
Exactly.
Like EC3, rebuild yourself there.
Yep.
Mike and Maria, rebuild yourself there.
Yep.
Sarah Logan can build her name there, as well as so can Eric Rowan.
I mean,
Or whatever these guys, their names will be.
right.
I do feel bad for Sarah Logan because she's married to Rowan of the Viking Experience. I mean, Viking Raiders.
Not War Machine.
Because, yeah, they're married, and so this is wherever she ends up is going to be hard.
Yeah.
And so, but when you're married to a pro wrestler, you're kind of used to, you know, the challenges if you're not in the same company.
Right.
So, but yeah, those are really good places. And there's one other person on this list I would say would be a great place to go. I wouldn't necessarily say this is my first spot for him to go, but I would say Rusev would do great in Impact.
Really? Because that is not where I thought he should go.
It's not my number one spot for him. I do think he would do well in Impact Wrestling, very well.
So you're going to hate me for where I think Rusev should start
Okay.
on his on the path of reaching absolute tip-top glory again. And it also ties in with my Four Horsemen of the Independence.
I know exactly where you're going to send him.
He's going to NWA Power.
Fuck you.
Look, what he's going to do for them is actually elevate them. He's going to dominate through them. Go to Ring of Honor. Dominate through them. He's basically just going to be like, there's no challenges here. Literally have the 10 pounds of gold and the Ring of Honor championship over both belts. Show up in New Japan and go, I want the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. At that moment, everyone's minds are blown. His contract finally ends with all of them. And the next night, like he gets stripped of all his belts because they're like, oh, or more accurately, he abdicates and goes, there's no other challenges here, and just lays down all the belts in their respective companies at the last show he has with them, and then shows up in AEW to destroy the AEW champion on his first night, not winning the championship. And this takes place over a 1-year span.
No. Well, at least for the NWA part, no.
But
No.
AEW is where he should end up.
No. New Japan is where I would say would be my first choice, or Ring of Honor.
No.
Actually, you know what? Ring of Honor and Impact are kind of the same. If you can't get right into New Japan, I would say one of those companies.
Okay.
I would probably say Ring of Honor a little bit more because of their relationship with New Japan.
Yes.
But again, one of the things I definitely think needs to happen is, we need to get, if you need to get AEW. I'll give it to you. You know, I hate how everything looks for Power. Their logos, their belts, everything, their style, everything.
Yeah.
But it's a starting point. It is a place they can go to get to wrestle. But NWA, AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact, and New Japan, all working together.
Yeah.
It's in a sense of an AEW, an NWA type alliance. Only difference is there's no championships.
Right.
And overseeing championships.
Each company has its own championships, but they share talent. That would be so cool.
They share talent. And then they can do bigger shows where they come together to do stuff, which would be really cool for that. All right, so with Rusev going to New Japan, let's stick with New Japan. Who do we think should go to New Japan as well?
Gallows and Anderson.
Yes, I definitely think they should go back there. I kind of do want to see them in AEW, so I can't really say it's one or the other. I don't really care where they end up.
No, I want them to go there right away.
Yeah.
Immediately show up, come out with their original Bullet Club entrance. Bullet Club is out. It comes out to the ring, and they're cutting a promo. And the older Bullet Club entrance music, which really right now as a group is not that much different than the group music, because each individual guy, some of them have different music, whatever. But the group music, it's not different. It's not that much. It's slightly different than Gallows and Anderson's, the Good Brothers, music. But they come out and they just right away just start they got the old school Bullet Club jackets on. Gallows has his face paint on again, and they come out and they're too sweet and no one is reacting to them, and then they just get beat up by the Bullet Club, and immediately they're like, "I'm sorry," but it causes a new fraction within the company, within Bullet Club again. Because you have some of the old guys like Fale who are like, no, these are guys that I brought into the company. That I brought into the Brotherhood. So they're still brothers. The rest of you guys, and at that moment it's the new boss, Jay White, versus the underboss of Fale. Who, by the way, if you've seen a picture of him recently, the dude has lost some weight and put on muscle.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
He's always been he's a heavy dude. He's a big, heavy dude.
But you knew he was strong and he had muscle.
Oh, yeah.
That,
much like Big Show.
Yeah.
But much like Big Show, he let the weight settle in for a little bit.
Yeah.
But a recent picture of him, he slimmed down, but still he's still a brick shit house. Sorry.
Yeah.
Dude's huge.
But
yeah, I want to see them go back to New Japan.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, again, I don't really care which way they would go. I do want to say, part of me really kind of wants to see him a little bit more in AEW.
Oh, I would love to see it.
No. First, because there's one reason. Oh, my bad. 2 reasons.
Okay.
Who will be going to most likely to AEW very, very soon. No flips, just fists.
All right.
I can't remember what their ring name is. They actually have announced what their names will be. The revival. Basically, I'm talking the revival.
Oh yes.
Which is, see if they're actually going to be going to AEW straight away. I'd love to see the Good Brothers go over there too, because then you can actually see the Good Brothers revival match, an actual match.
Yeah, under the rules of AEW instead of the roof and rules and restrictions of WWE.
But I also would be okay with them going to New Japan first, building their names back up again and showing, and then coming over and really building to that matchup. So it's one of those things we can definitely go. So other names on this list, I actually wouldn't mind seeing Zack Ryder go to New Japan either.
I would like to see. That's not bad. Zack Ryder for me is a guy that, due to his personality, his in-ring talent, everything that he has going for him, the man could land on his feet in pretty much any company.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ring of Honor, he could be a top guy. TNA, he could be a top guy. AEW, he could be a top guy. New Japan, he will definitely join a great stable and be a kind of a top guy. I keep forgetting how many people are in New Japan and how well they balance out their storylines.
Yeah. It's such an interesting. I'd love to see Zack Ryder go to New Japan just because I think he would be a great asset for them. Build himself back up, but also when they come over to tour in the U.S., he's a good name like Moxley.
Right.
You could have put the U.S. title belt on because apparently you can only put the U.S. belt on actual Americans or Canadians.
Okay. I was gonna say. I'm like, the first champion was Kenny Omega,
Yeah.
a Canadian who lives in Japan.
Yeah, I know. So that would be, I think, would be a good person. Another good person, I think, would be great to go over there for their junior heavyweight is Leo Rush.
Yeah, I can see him coming over to New Japan and really showing what he can do in their junior heavyweight division.
But I don't want him to go there first. I want him to go to Impact Wrestling and dominate their X division.
Yes. I was originally thinking Ring of Honor, and
He's been in the Ring of Honor before.
he'd probably be great over there. But
well, because I wanted to make sure where he's been before. He has been in Ring of Honor for 2 years between 2015 and 2017 before he signed with WWE.
okay,
So he has done some stuff there, but he hasn't done really much, and I don't think he actually. He did apparently he unsuccessfully challenged Jay Lethal for the championship. There.
okay,
And he did win the Top Prospect tournament in 2016 there, but he never held any championships there. So you could kind of go back there, but I'd say go to Impact first.
Yep.
Really just reinvent yourself in that X division because while he is a junior heavyweight obviously
yes,
the X division, you looked at some of the people in there and they are not light heavyweights.
no, it's a lot
Their
like
size.
New Japan's never openweight championship.
Yeah. So that would be a great place there to show what he can do against different sized people. And then going into New Japan, showing what he can do in that junior heavyweight division with the talent they have.
Yeah,
Oh my God. Leo Rush, Will Ospreay, please.
exactly.
That would be a great little there. So that's something I definitely want to see there. But eventually, I think he'd be a good. Once he's built his name back up, repaired some of the damage that has happened from WWE, then maybe a run in AEW at that point. Drake Maverick, Ring of Honor.
I was feeling the same way. Like the moment that I see him, I see what he's done, and I go, Ring of Honor. Bring him right into Ring of Honor and work him from there.
I think it'd be a good spot for him, especially with bringing the Pure Championship back.
Yep.
They're doing. There's another little spot right there for him. I would say take him back to Impact, but I feel like he's never going to be a big star, like a world champion in that company.
Right.
Whereas like Ring of Honor, if you actually then bring him in, work him his way up, he could actually prove that he can be a world champion, and then you can move him to, if you want to go back to Impact, AEW, or over to New Japan to work with their junior heavyweights and maybe up into the heavyweights or open weight would be a great spot for him.
Yeah.
We got Mike Kanellis.
We already went
I'd
over
like to
that.
see him also. We talked about him in Impact already, but I'd like to see him in New Japan at some point as well. But Zack Ryder, overall, I think he is destined for AEW run.
Yeah. Oh,
Sometimes I want to see him
is.
in New Japan. It's almost a guarantee that he's going to probably end up in AEW. As Cody said, if you've gotten over once, you can get over again. And we all know how over Zack Ryder can get, because not everyone can have your name chanted by the audience when the fucking Rock is in the fucking ring.
That's true. Also, the fact that AEW is a very social media heavy company. If you get over with social media, and Zack Ryder's gotten over purely on social media before getting over on social media was a thing.
Yeah. Hey, wait. What are you saying? Are you saying WWE's not a social media company? No, they're not.
They jumped into it a little late. And
No,
they still
they
don't seem
don't
to understand it.
They don't, because they still have their talent just tweet things out in character. They don't dissect social media and really
The worst part is sometimes they start a feud on social media, which is clearly starting a feud on social media. You can tell by the way it's written.
Yeah.
And then they forget about that, or none of that comes into TV suddenly.
Yeah.
And then other times they allow the talent through the official channels to just tweet like normal.
And the only exception to this rule is Becky Lynch.
Yes.
Who's she's like Zack Ryder. She understands how to take your character and use it online.
Yeah. And honestly, you can just be like, okay, so much like me, my Twitter is the ZOP Gaming channel Twitter. That's the only Twitter I use. Do I go around tweeting as if I'm Adam Daly the entire time? No. Those tweets and interactions are ZOP Gaming. That is a different version. I have to go, nope, put this hat on. Okay, now if I'm going to respond to somebody, it's that way. Sometimes Adam sneaks in a little bit, but more often than not, it is the daily, or it's ZOP Gaming. That's it.
I think Adam sneaks in there a lot more than you think.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Adam's the one who does the write-ups for the YouTube, and that's how. Never mind. I have
No Way Jose.
I said TNA.
Oh, you did? Okay, I didn't hear you say that one.
Oh no. I'm saying that's where you should head to. I don't know. It's been so long since I've actually seen him used that I don't remember what type of character he really was.
He's the conga line guy who's like, no way, Jose, no way.
That's it?
Yeah, basically that was his gimmick.
Oh.
He's the guy who literally went into a battle royal, got coming out celebrating, got tossed out, and then left still conga line game, like it didn't bug him.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he was told to do that, but I'm gonna say, as much as I don't really care for them. NWA, good starting point.
Yeah.
I think.
I kind of feel the same way for Aiden English.
It depends on if he wants to keep wrestling. That's my question. Or is he going to be doing commentary? If he's doing commentary, any of the companies are
any
good
company.
For it.
Yeah,
it's good for. Yeah. If he's going to wrestle, NWA would probably be a good one for him. He is that old school kind of character. Like when he was doing stuff, he could really do well there. Dino Perezzo, I would say, I'd go back to Ring of Honor there, but I just don't think that's a good spot for her, probably. I'm going to say go to Stardom. If she can get into Stardom, I would say go there. Or Impact, but I think Stardom would be a better spot for her. And they want people who have talent, bigger stars. While she wasn't really used too much, she was on national television.
That's true.
For WWE, she is recognizable. You could use that in your marketing of her for that. But like MJ, those guys, like the people I mentioned, they haven't ever been like used, or if they have, they were jobbed out. So I'm gonna say just go somewhere on the indie scene and build your name from there. But yeah, that's everyone really. Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, we've got two more names, and I know exactly where these two guys are going because it's going to be a huge announcement. Biff Stryker is signed two new talents. You may have known these guys as Kurt Hawkins and Heath Slater, but they're coming over to New England Wrestling Alliance in the very near future as Hurt Hawkins and Sheath Hader, the tag team of Cock and Sheath.
Wait.
Let the applause end there. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's great signing.
Yeah.
Great signing.
So they're lovers?
No, their manager is Arthur Morgan, and he thought it was a wonderful name. I honestly, I don't know why Biff keeps allowing Arthur Morgan to make some of these decisions, but man. Okay.
Wow. Okay. But yes, Kurt Hawkins and Heath Slater.
I think I'm that. Yes, Teresa. Yes. Okay. They're going to be appearing at the Blood Feud 4, the pay-per-view coming up in 2 weeks. Actually, technically it's 3 weeks, but it's 2 weeks from tomorrow. Blood Feud 4. Huge pay-per-view coming up. They're going to be taking on Stormbringers. That tag team has been taking on every newcomer to the company. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. But we're going to see what Hurt Hawkins and Sheath Hader has up their sleeves.
Adam, no one gives a shit about Nua. So
everyone loves Nua.
No one loves Nua.
But speaking of Nua, we're going to have a great show on there this week for you guys. We've got tag team action kicking off in the main event. The winner of this match will be going on to face Zop Club at Blood Feud 4 in 2 weeks from Sunday. It's Woo World Order versus Phantasm. Oh my God, I can't wait. Once again, also on the card, the Llama is taking on yet another challenger. Man, this guy has been on a streak lately outside of his loss to Baki. But this week he's taking on Baki's tag team partner, Oma. Hopefully the Llama can get a win over Oma. Or maybe Oma has the Llama's number. Remember, always on the card, the Chowda Championship. Arthur Morgan, speaking of Arthur Morgan, he is walking into that match as the champion. Will he come out as the champion? Who knows? He'll be taking on Sergeant Winter and Lightning of the Stormbringers. Kicking off the show, former New England Wrestling Alliance champion PJ DeSilvio will be taking on Ghost from Biff's Boys. Do we have?
No one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Everyone cares. This is going to be a great show. A lot of things.
Nobody cares.
A lot of things setting up for Blood Feud 4 happening in 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Adam, I gotta cut you off there because we gotta wrap up the show because no one cares about this part. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you thought of this whole WWE release thing. Do you think it's okay? If you do, you're wrong. If you don't, you agree with us.
Wow.
That's
harsh.
It's a bad thing. You're right. Sorry. If you disagree with me, then you're just wrong because it is a terrible thing.
It's a bad
It's
move.
a natural part of this. It's how and why they're going about it and everything else, and that they can actually keep these people on at this point and then release them later on when they actually still could go out and then get work. But no. So let us know down in the comment section. Since you're heading down that way and you're listening to us for over an hour and a half ish. Give this podcast a thumbs up.
Ding.
There's no ding on the thumbs up.
You get a ding on the thumbs up. Stop arguing with me.
No. And then since you're right there, hit that subscribe button.
Ding, ding.
There's one ding. Ring that bell.
Ding, ding, ding.
It's 2 dings.
3 now.
And make sure you hit all notifications so you get all of Zop Gaming's content when it goes live.
All of it.
Even though only this podcast is really what's worth listening to. Even though
New England Wrestling Alliance is one of the greatest shows ever.
Even though Adam's comments about Owen Hart constantly cost us viewership. Oh, and by the way, if you don't agree with me, you can get bent. like WWE and their stupid releases.